Hello everyone, this is Nightshade and welcome to another Overwatch video, and today I will be teaching you how to play Zarya. Now, I kind of thought about it, and what I came up with is that for the Diva video, I thought, you know what, I think it was like 38 minutes, that's a bit too long, so I thought about this. Instead, I will switch it up and just do a match, and just kind of go over the character's strengths and weaknesses and how to use their kit, and hoping that would be a lot better. Okay, so unfortunately, this does mean this is going to be a little bit hard to explain. But so, I mean, Zarya is a pretty simplistic character. Maybe Hog isn't really the best matchup for me. Of course, I'm not allowed to switch out to a different tank that I think would be a better, placement for this. So Zarya can either bubble herself to protect her and or help protect allies. Now, where that comes in handy is that when you're either dealing damage or your bubble gets damaged, she builds up the little bar that you can see around the little cursor. And the reason that you want that obviously to go up higher is that the more damage, obviously the faster you can kill them. Of course, you want to be careful, because protecting both your allies and yourself, you gotta kind of like go around. So I just chose the ability to just kind of like get more of an impulse when I impulse the ground. It's kind of better. Wow, maybe this wasn't the best idea. Maybe I should go to the training ground and just speak that way, because trying to focus on two things at once is not easy. But with Zarya, you do kind of have a little more leeway to try to go after mechs a little bit. So overall, sometimes it does come down to being like a tank versus tank situation, and just kind of let your team have your thing. So the nice thing about Zarya is that, at least with Zarya being the way she is, most characters in this game cannot block your team, which is very nice. Well, at least we're not really going anywhere at this point, but we're still taking the point, which is kind of what you want to see. Now, someone might kind of make it a play here. And I just want to make it focus on him a little bit. Oh, and that's unlucky. Yeah, I'm not sure if Zarya is the best matchup for Hog. I think a better matchup would be. Do something. Well, if we had an Anna too, do we even have like an Anna? How do I check my? How do I check my thing? I think it's my tab, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so Lucio is definitely not. If you want to be Lucio, if you're playing with like a Reinhardt, that would be such much better like placement, because that way at least your Reinhardt can at least get advantage. But no, if we had a but no, if you're playing up against, if you're a medic and you're going up against a Roadhog, I would argue that picking an Ana for the ability to not only stop the one thing that Roadhog's good at, because Roadhog doesn't really need healers beyond him all that much. Really, all you really typically need is just because he can just go and heal himself, while your medics can just stay on your damage, just kind of keep them occupied, flank the enemy team and all that. But if you have the Ana with you, especially since I'm playing Zarya, this he can mainly just kind of out heal, and then I gotta get focused by all their other teammates, and then it's not fun. Like Zarya, you gotta kind of switch from being damaged, then switch from trying to protect your, team. Because as long as you keep your team alive, obviously. Did you just switch to monk? Interesting. Oh, what is my gun? I don't think I let it come over the bubble there. Come here, Mercy. Come here. Come on. Come on. Lame. Favorite part. Alright, no dying for you. Come on. Sniper, be ready. My team is kind of all over the place right now. So will make it really interesting. Their team is all over the place. I can't do anything. Ah, damn. Okay, well. Yeah, if he's going monkey, I need to switch to piercing. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to do too much here. Clearing the area. He got stuck in the bubble, I assume. Get in there. Good job. Thank goodness we have a Reaper. Alright, come on. I have beam charge. Get that Mercy. Yeah. Never, and I mean never, let a Mercy live. You see the opportunity to kill the Mercy, you kill the Mercy. If you don't, what are you doing? Come on here. There we go. I don't know if you were getting attacked. Hey, well, hey, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, overall, it's pretty simple. Just make sure you keep your beam tracked on the enemies. Remember always, if you see one of your allies starting to go down on health, just give them the protective bubble. The more damage they take, the higher your beam charges, and the more damage you do. There's really not much to talk about Zarya. He's a pretty easy character to play. But, however, before I end this video, oh, hey, loot boxes. Hey, let's see what we get. Oh, that's not good. I don't want that. I don't want that going. Let's see what we get from the loot boxes. See if I get any new skins. Mud. Well, I don't have one for him. I don't have anything for her either, so I'll just. There we go. What do we got for her? Sure. I don't really emote, but yeah. Okay, cool. Victory pose. That looks pretty basic. Okay, sure. Any new emblems? No, not really anything cool.
The rooster crows at midnight.
Cool. So what I think Zarya can counter and what she gets countered by, and this will how I'll try to make and then end these tutorial videos. It should be a lot shorter. It should just be like a lot easier for you guys to just kind of, you know, watch and just pretty much, you know, just go from there. All right. Anyway, who does Zarya counter? Heavily counters D.Va, unless she knows how to play high ground and get away from the beam. I'll just get out of the way right now. Any unit that can get range on Zarya practically counters her. Not saying Zarya isn't a good tank. She's probably one of the best tanks to play as. But that's where you have to rely on your damage and support to play at range, because then Zarya just kind of gets locked out from being able to do anything. Anyway, so heavily counters D.Va, because D.Va cannot block a beam. Doomfist is a bit of an interesting one, because he is kind of like a close range, so I would argue that yes, he does get no, he gets countered. He doesn't really do a lot of damage, so overall Zarya can pretty much survive that. Hazard, yeah, I think it both goes the same. No, just for Hazard and Junker Queen, because they both use shotguns. They're pretty close range, so it usually isn't. Although Junker Queen is a high damager, Hazard just mainly makes like, he tries to make opening plays to like lock you out of behind your supports. I don't know if his shotgun is really all that good, but he does have a damage negation. It isn't the greatest when it comes to the beam, so you know, she kind of counters those. No, that's pretty good. I guess, yeah, Reinhardt probably. Yeah, once you get the piercing beam, yeah, then you counter Reinhardt. Otherwise, no, Reinhardt could probably stand a chance against Zarya. So, no. He's like a 50-50, but you gotta choose the right perks for him. Definitely Sigma, because he can't block your damage with his, like, black hole, like, whatever his ability is. If you have the piercing thing, then, yeah, you counter Winston, but you kind of need to have it at that point. Otherwise, yeah, you're not going to be doing too much. And Wrecking Ball does, that's not too much. And then, yeah. Wow, ouch. Okay, so I think at this point, I think mostly that is all that she really counters. Just in the tank department, there's not a lot she counters for this, because like every damage and every support, they don't necessarily play at range. Well, except for Reaper, except he gets Siphon, and he's probably the strongest counter against every tank. So overall, everything counters Mercy, so she also counters Mercy. That's how I'm gonna go by that. Otherwise, yeah, no. If you play the characters right, every and just about anything can counter Zarya. But if you want to get more, anyway, so Alga counters because damage, high damage, gets lit on fire. Crit damage, that's going to hurt. Roadhog, we just seen it. He can just out heal the beam damage, especially with their medics healing him. It's not gonna be fun. Wrecking Ball, he's just an overall annoyance for all heroes, so it's really there's not really much countering him. He's just an annoyance, and that's how you're supposed to play the character. High damage, so yes, pops the bubble, can't really do much. Ramatra, he's kind of a jack of all trades, pretty good. Orisa, very annoying, because she is meant to be played at medium range, except it's enough medium range to where she's going to keep popping your bubble, and all that crit's going to really hurt. It's not going to be fun. Well, okay, you know, Hanzo and Widowmaker, they're sniper-based characters, but they don't really do that much. You just gotta charge them, and then they're kind of dead at that point. But that's the whole reason they like to play at long range. Well, Widowmaker does. Hanzo likes to play medium-ish, because unless you're playing Hawkeye, which I argue this, Hawkeye is so much better than Hanzo, and I bet he'd win in a 1v1, because that's how it is. Overall, yeah, no. Zarya is a very situational character you want to play in close quarter areas. If you get into like a very long full view shot of line like something that like Widowmaker would like, yeah, no, she's gonna struggle, because unless you can get close enough, you're not gonna have too much fun. But again, you know, she's not that bad, so it just gets, you just gotta get used to it. Always aim for the healers first, because then you just make your lives a lot better, a lot easier. Yeah, overall, that's probably all I got to say about Zarya. There's not really much you can say about her. She is, again, I argue, next to like Ramatra and Orisa, probably one of the best tanks in the game. Probably even meta, I'll be honest. Otherwise, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the, hopefully, what will be shorter videos, because that way it's just a lot easier for you guys to follow along. Yep. Hope you all like and subscribe, and I hope you all look forward to the next videos. Thank you.